is the Article 7 procedure. This is the powerful tool in the treaty, and we must come back to it. Because let me remind you, the Polish Constitutional Court that today has cast doubts on the validity of our treaty is the same court that under Article 7 we consider not to be independent and legitimate.
For some more on the increasing row between the EU and Poland, let's bring in Pieter Cleppe. He's the editor-in-chief of Brussels Report EU. He's joining us from Brussels. Pieter, good to have you with us again. So last time we spoke, you said that a fudge may be on the way between the EU and Poland. It seems like both sides are kind of hardening, though.
A fudge will have to be found anyway. It's true that there was some harsh rhetoric, but behind the scenes you see that EU leaders are not keen to allow this to escalate. I mean, what are we talking about? This is the Polish government basically asking the Polish Constitutional Court to what extent EU law is superior. The Polish Constitutional Court has said EU law is superior, but there are cases conceivable where that would no longer be the case. Now, the question is if these cases will apply to the situation at hand here. So just to say, there's a lot of room for interpretation. There's a lot of room for compromise.
Have we seen yet exactly the cases that the Constitutional Court in Poland are suggesting may come into conflict with Polish law versus EU law?
Well, it will depend. There's different disputes running. For example, one is that the European Commission wants Poland to comply with an order to shut down coal plants close to the Czech Republic, and if it doesn't, to pay for compensation. Poland refuses to. Let's say Poland continues to refuse, and this continues to escalate. That at the end of the day, the Polish government could, in theory, declare, well, you know what, you're actually violating EU law because you're sort of transgressing your powers, so we don't have to comply with it. And in that scenario, you would have an all-out clash. But if you take that example, there's many sort of compromises conceivable. Where Poland would, for example, phase it out over a longer period or something, or in the end pay, as has been requested. At the end of the day, the Polish government does not have an interest to let this escalate because it would lose large sums of EU money.
Yeah, there's some $34 billion in EU funds that are due to go to Poland, which I guess is a little bit at risk now. So where do you see the compromises coming then, Pieter, in the future? You say that there will be a compromise found, and we tend to agree with you on that. Where do you think that will come? Because, as we say, the harsh rhetoric in the Parliament yesterday would belie the idea that they're going to try and find an agreement.
Well, I think the compromise between Poland and the EU will have to be found on all the specific areas of disputes. But more fundamentally, we have a deeper seated problem, which is that the EU treaties do not actually foresee that EU law is superior. The legal basis for this is the jurisprudence of the top European Court in Luxembourg. So far over the years, many top courts in member states have been challenging this, but not, in an overly aggressive manner. What we saw last year is that Germany declared the top court of the EU to have violated EU law, to have gone ultra virus, as it said. So you see that over the years, there's a lot more challenging of this principle invented by the European Court of Justice that EU law is always superior. Now, again, also here, you could find a compromise. You could write in the treaties the conditions under which EU law is superior. You could come up with what I have suggested, a subsidiarity court, which would be a court superior to the top European court, responsible to sort out disputes surrounding the competence. At the moment, this is reserved for the top European court. The top European court says, but then national top courts do not agree with that. So that would be that could be a solution. Perhaps there's other solutions conceivable as well. I mean, this is a long-running dispute. Even in the United States, you have similar constitutional disputes. So I think we should not exaggerate and say that this automatically means exit of Poland or the breakup of the EU. This is a fairly common constitutional dispute, if you look at it.
And it shows the dynamism of the body. I think that idea of a separate court is being considered as well for Brexit negotiations, perhaps in Switzerland, but that'll be for another day. Okay, Pieter Cleppe from Brussels Report EU. Do appreciate your time. Thank you.